Hey everybody, so welcome back to Stay Positive. I know it's been a minute since I uploaded a video to YouTube with the episode, but as you know, all the audio versions are available on Spotify and iTunes, so feel free to listen to it there. But if you're a big video head, you love to watch us talk, I understand. I am very excited about this episode. It's with a comedian. She's really cool. She runs her own podcast called Let's Go Atsuko, as well as a live comedy show that she runs at Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles. Check it out. We recently did a show together in Napa Valley where we drank a lot of wine and hung out, and it was fun, and we did comedy. But anyway, so before that, we had recorded this awesome episode of Stay Positive, so please listen. You're going to love it. Without further ado, this guest's name is Atsuko Okatsuka. I had a thing for a while where like the screws were not quite tight on the chairs, so we were like squeaking all the time.
Oh, I see.
But I got the toolbox out and I unsqueaked the squeakins.
Fucking boss.
Anyway, hi Atsuko, thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Hi, Sarah.
Are you? Oh no.
Rough start.
It's okay. We can bounce back. I think we can bounce back.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
That was graceful. No one will ever know. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I'm just noticing your necklace here.
Oh, thank you.
On that, what is that a bell? It's bell shape.
It's a bell shape. It's a necklace that my grandma gives to me a lot.
Oh, multiple times?
I used to sort of return her the jewelry she would get me because it was like family heirlooms and family keepsakes, and I always felt like it was too much pressure for me to try to keep it safe. Mm-hmm. So I would just be like, "Oh, thank you, Grandma, for this present, but I think we should keep it with you." This time I took it.
Yeah,
home.
Nice. Good. Yeah. You're like, I can protect it now that I'm
I think so.
a full grown woman.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. That's a big step in life, I think, to be able to protect fine jewelry. Because also like the pressure of not losing stuff. Because I feel like if anybody gives me nice things that are small, I'm like, well, say goodbye.
And that's often in the form of jewelry.
Jewelry, yeah. Definitely. Earrings.
Yeah.
You have earrings. Your ear holes.
These are, but these are Target. My hearing is going. I listen to music kind of loud when I'm like teaching a dance class.
Got it,
just twice a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, I love seeing all the videos, which I guess is like kind of, because I remember you used to post videos of your dance class.
Right.
And then it evolved into like videos like in Whole Foods. You know, twerking in Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And like those are like, it's like, oh, it's the evolution of, you know, we're here in this setting, and then it's like, actually you can dance anywhere. And so I love that because I love to dance. But I've really lost the opportunity to dance since coming to LA. I feel like I'm not going to a lot of dancey places.
Oh,
I don't take a class. Maybe that's my own fault, right? But like, I love the idea of just being able to dance anywhere because obviously.
Right, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, how did you get started?
Taking it to the streets.
Yeah. You were always a dancer. Is that true?
I'm always weird to use that term because I'm not like, a professional. I'm never going to get a call for Step Up.
You never say never. I mean, they do have Step Up High Water on YouTube, Red.
Step Up High Water. Oh, yeah. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either. But
not a YouTube Red subscriber.
Me neither. Oh, I don't have the, I don't have the bandwidth to be like, oh, here's another $10 internet. Every month or however much it is.
I did, though. Actually, I was subscribed to YouTube Red for a while, and I just realized that because I checked my account. You got to do that once in a while.
Your bank statements?
I looked at my statement. I was like, how long have I been paying for YouTube Red? So I got rid of it.
Yeah.
And then that's also how I found out I was giving to Greenpeace for like 8 years.
Okay.
I was like, how long? What? Okay. I think I've given enough.
I see. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Greenpeace did that thing with the, did you see?
What did they do?
They like messed up the, they put something like a Greenpeace ad or some sort of protest thing over the Nazca lines, which are like they're like in Peru. I might be messing this up. They're like kind of an artifact thing that can be seen from very far away, and so people are like, ooh, maybe the aliens helped the ancient Incans to do this or whatever. I might be messing this all up, but and they like kind of put something over it. You know, it's like if you put something on top of like something kind of fragile and old.
Yes, that belongs to
So that was
people.
not good PR for them, Greenpeace, but they brought it on themselves. But
That's
do good
why I
work,
left.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, then that's why they're a longtime helper.
I'm sure there's like
It's like,
Greenpeace
fuck you guys.
people listening or subscribers or
Yeah.
not subscribers. I mean, it is
Yeah,
subscribing
subscription.
because you're taking, you get your money taken out every month
Yeah.
without a reminder.
Did they send you anything like
No.
a bag or no? Nothing. Well, I mean, the best kind of giving is giving without anything in return.
Right. It's about the gift is that you gave.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. We were talking about
really
dancing, and
impressive. But
I didn't mean to
it's fine.
trash anybody.
I was doing all the trashing. Let it be heard, I was.
Who's
the one
not
who was-
trashing things is Greenpeace. So.
Yeah, you're right.
For the
I've
most
attacked
part,
a
with literal
poor-
trash, with literal trash,
Right,
with
right.
ancient ruins maybe,
Yeah, maybe
and
they're
ancient
like-
artifacts, but well, I was like a cheerleader in high school, and I
Right,
took
that's
dance
where
classes when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's dance.
Yeah, and you danced too,
No, I didn't.
but you like dancing.
I really appreciate the credit.
You like
Anyway.
going out dancing.
Right, I like to, I like putting a nice song on and being able to dance, or going out dancing. But haven't really been into like formal dancing. I did one of my friends in college who was a great dancer, many different styles. She like choreographed a dance for us to do our senior year. So, and I learned how hard it is. It was just like a minute, maybe less. Oh yeah. Angle as much as.
Sorry, is it okay?
Yeah, of course. The arm, it's all possible.
You learned a.
Yeah, I think I put
Wow.
it on myself. Yeah.
No.
This is better.
I feel like a giraffe that finally found the right
Oh, yeah,
necklace.
the neck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Yeah, you're majestic. It all worked out.
Totally. Yeah.
I think I adjusted it to my height, and that's never a good sign. Anyway, but yeah.
You learned a whole minute dance.
Yeah,
and
but it's
then-
hard. So, like, is that sort of, that doesn't come easily. I think also looking at yourself in a mirror, I'd never done that before
Yeah.
while moving. And I was like, oh, my body, that's what it looks like. Okay.
It's natural for it to feel off. If you like love it from the first moment, there's you.
Red flag.
I love it. So there's a lot of ego in like seeing your own self in the mirror and feeling comfortable about it. I mean, it's
That's
good
good,
too.
though.
Yeah, it's good too. Yeah, totally. Like
Yeah.
confidence and self-love, you know? Was it like a flash mob?
Good question. It was more for the hip hop group did a like concert recital, like dance presentation every semester, and I think the spring one they included seniors who just wanted to try it out.
Oh, got it.
Who were like, no pressure.
Right.
You just go up for a minute. And there's a bunch of you, so you hopefully won't be singled out. And then,
Ooh.
a senior heads up each one so they can, like, recruit their friends and, get people who have never done it before to, like, try doing hip-hop dance. And it was, like, very challenging.
That is, I love choreographed things.
Yeah. Well, have you choreographed things before? And, like,
I became the choreographer for my cheerleading squad. It sounds so dumb saying
that's
that,
like
but
crazy responsibility.
climbed the ladder up to co-choreographer with
Put
the
it on the
captain.
fucking resume,
Nobody cares, turns out, of what you did in high school after
I care.
after you're done with schools.
Right. Yeah, high school, it does feel long enough, separated where people are like, you probably changed a ton since then, so the past is the past.
Your resume does not matter.
But cheerleading in high school, I mean, you have a great bit about it, and so that's how I think I thought in my head, like, Atsuko's been a dancer for a long time because she cheerled.
I cheerled.
The past tense of cheerlead.
I cheerled. Yeah.
So that's like, because that's challenging and something that, you don't find yourself in, I would imagine, unless you have skill and kind of like already a love for it.
Obsession for uniforms.
Yeah. Did you have to wear like really intense uniforms?
We had, repping the school, red, blue and white. Yeah, I mean, it is about uniform things. It's weird. I was thinking about this, why I love watching, like, people doing the same thing. Synchronized things in general. People walking together the same. But then it's, like, very, right, like a dictatorship, like a fascist, like a weird, in a big group. It's weird, but there's something about that is fascinating to watch. And I was like, I kind of get it, like, why that would be, I don't know, that would make a dictator...
Yeah, I mean, like, my machine is working.
To become one like that?
I mean, that reminds me of like the Chinese opening ceremony for the Summer Olympics 2008, maybe? I don't remember what year it was, but they did the whole like huge stadium, and just the numbers they could bring out, of course.
Yeah.
That could all be really synchronized in their drumming, and it was really astounding, but it also felt like, oh, yeah, this is something that they have to do.
This is an army now.
Right. This is a display of, here's how it works here in China, where things are, democracy is not quite there,
right?
Or whatever you want to call it.
I wonder if there's something to it, like in our brains. You know how like babies like symmetrical faces and things like that they say things like that. If there's something about like seeing 100 people do the same dance.
I mean, I guess it's
that's fascinating to watch, and it hits something within us.
Totally.
I don't know. I should be careful.
Like an army. I should be careful. Well, I think the dance version is very harmless.
When 100 people twerk at the same time.
Yeah, no, you're like, great, put
it's
it on
a little
television.
different.
Sure, I think that's harmless. If it's an army marching to go to war, a little bit worrying.
Right.
But as long as you can draw the distinction and notice
that
when
it's not
one and not the other.
Well, because like in North Korea, there's synchronized dances too, by the hundreds.
Yikes.
And they all have matching smiles.
That has different implications.
And
fair.
claps too, Anyhow, I don't know why I went to that. But, maybe because we want to know that we don't like unpredictable things maybe as much.
Totally.
Yeah.
And power in numbers.
Power in numbers.
What tribe to join, everybody always,
right.
I think, brings it back to like, well, when we were evolving and we were still cave people.
Yeah.
It was like, ooh, what tribe do I want to join? The one that's all synchronized, or the one that's really just running around?
Mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know who's leading, who's following. Yeah.
yeah. No alpha in sight. Yeah. So that makes sense. But then you, from there, I mean, now you teach though, so that's like a whole separate thing, because then you have to be even better to be able to teach. That's like the final evolution.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the final,
I think.
Unless you get recruited for Step Up.
Right. But then somebody has to teach those guys even.
See, that's true. There's always a teacher behind things. Shout out to teachers out there. I only teach twice a week. It's just like an hour each. It's something that, I love it, like with comedy, something I get a workout, and like it's something I enjoy. It's still like a variation of performing. I like performing. I like when people are watching me.
Yeah. Well, I think everything is performance in some ways. Like, that sounds really douchey, but no, I just mean like a lot of stuff we do, I think, even if it's not categorized as like, well, I'm on stage and people are watching me, it's like, well, if you're just talking to somebody else and they're watching you, that's kind of like performing.
That's
even
deep.
In conversation.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Jeez, when do we rest?
Especially if it's somebody who, exactly. When do we rest? Especially if it's somebody who doesn't know you, because then you're kind of putting on something more maybe for them, because you're like, this person might think I'm awesome, so maybe I should try to be awesome.
Right. God, yeah, it's a lot of pressure. Yeah.
But that's cool. So then what kinds of dances do you teach? I don't know is it a certain genre?
I teach dance hall. I teach dance to dance hall, which is like it's a music style and culture that comes from Jamaica.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know. I've never heard of that before.
Dance hall is like people who made it in the mainstream are like Sean Paul, Beanie Man, Elephant Man, all the mans.
Yeah.
Rihanna too actually is making her next album's gonna be dance hall.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Drake kind of dabbles with it.
I see.
Yeah.
So we've heard it, but I guess I just
yeah.
didn't know the title. Awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's I don't know.
like
I
fun.
just got into it.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, because it's something I do think. It's something I do think about, like getting into something, and then, if you're good at it, how much can you claim something? If it's of another culture.
Yeah. What do you think about that? I guess.
Well, so for me, I mean, it's mostly like a dance workout class that I teach in Atwater Village to like a lot of soccer moms.
Oh my God, is it on that main street and you like?
Yeah,
I
and
think
it's
I
always
totally
like doom,
walked
doom,
past it.
doom,
Yeah,
doom.
everybody
Yeah,
looks like they're having so much fun.
yeah, it's like coffee shops and bakeries.
Totally
People
walked
just
past
like
that.
hanging out with their dog, and then this one studio just be like boom, boom,
Right.
zumba, zumba. Yeah,
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 it's the life of the party. It's the life of the street.
yeah, and it's like the clientele's all over, but the people who take my class are a lot of them are soccer moms who are like
Awesome.
stoked to find their hips for the first
Yeah,
time.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. Like
But
the
for-
kids are at practice. We're finding our hips.
Yeah, and it's different than hip hop, the dance style, and so it's very like a lot of power and it's powerful, you know, and you feel strong doing it, and but you know, for me, it's like okay, that's where it ends for me, just in Atwater Village. You know, I'm not gonna go to Jamaica.
Like I'm here, guys.
Yeah, and try to battle
mean-
Jamaicans or something. You know what I mean?
Battle.
That's
I'm here to battle.
I'm
Send me
here-
your best. That's
Which
what
is
I
the highest
imagine.
form
Yeah,
of
you're, like,
evolution
washed up
in
on the beach, and you're like, I'm here to battle.
That's yeah, exactly. People do that,
Oh God.
right? People
I
do
see.
that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. Like, I think the cultural appropriation thing is always so interesting because I honestly think it's like way more. Like, I don't know if I even find the same answer with two different cases. You know, like there's this whole like, like I almost feel like the outrage around it is like a lot of fun.
Kimono?
And that's like what, yeah, kimono today or like anything. It's like kind of just a fun. Now everybody likes the fanfare around being like white person, that thing, nah, you know, and
Right.
and that is true that it's like been terrible and there's been a lot of like historically like annoying things and more than annoying too.
Right.
So I get that, but yeah, it's crazy because there's just no end to it, you
It's-
know. So
it's
I don't even know how
complex.
to approach it sometimes.
There are many layers to it.
Yeah.
So like knowing where you appreciate something and really like even get good at it to the point you maybe take people's money, right? Like it's
Oh, okay. Yeah.
right. There's a lot, or if it's just a hobby, and then also knowing restrictions. Like in dance hall, this is crazy. I don't know if people even want to talk about dance hall or know about this much about dance hall.
I am.
But dance hall, right? There, even in Jamaica, if you are not Jamaican and you want to enter the dance hall, like dance floor, right? Because there's a lot of battling going, or there's one-on-ones, and there's moves that everyone breaks into together. If it's like a battle, if you're a foreigner, you're not allowed to just step in, and you have to be invited in onto the dance floor by a Jamaican. Things like that you should respect, you know.
Yeah.
There's dance hall moves that you can invent as a dance hall teacher, but you know, it's kind of faux pas to try to make up one if you're not Jamaican.
Totally.
So
yeah,
it's
I see.
just borrowed from Jamaicans and then giving credit to them. Yeah, things like that. You know, it's important to remember.
yeah.
So like I said, I would never go to Jamaica and be like, yeah, washed up on shore. I'm here, guys, with my white soccer moms that I brought to Sandals Resort to be like, all right, when's the battle? You know what I mean? Like, you have to,
Totally, yeah. That
You have
I
to-
can see that being maybe not okay.
But then you can't lie, too, about what you're interested in, right?
Right.
So, like, you know, because we're Japanese, you know, that's our ancestry. Like, is that the only thing that we should be into? You know, we can't lie about that. You know, I'm not into kendo. I'm not into.
I see what
Sumo.
you mean. Yeah, like right. Even though it would be more like we'd probably run into less issue going
Yeah.
after those things. It's like, oh well, you're Japanese, so that's okay. But like, we're not
Yeah.
necessarily. That's not where our heart takes us.
Yeah, you can't lie about your interests, you know, and so, yeah, it's complex.
Cool.
Kimono, I don't know. We don't need to talk about kimono.
No, we could talk about kimono. I honestly just saw like the headline, so I don't even know what's going on. It's just like a
Yeah, I think it's her underwear
Oh, okay.
collection, and I was like Kim, yeah, and then oh no, I think. Well, if I remember Japanese correctly, I think kimono means something you wear. I don't know.
right. I think it's something like just your.
It's
Somebody
literally
had told me.
translated
it's
like
just-
what you wear.
Right. So it's like not the kimono that we all know so well, like the
but then
actual
it
garb.
became labeled
Okay, I
that,
see.
and so yeah, I don't know. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh
I
wait,
mean,
but I
still-
checked and Asian Twitter already had it, so I was
Sure,
like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. I like, I'm just an observer when it comes to Twitter these days, because it stresses me out. But it is pretty, not a great look. You do hope. I think like the main outrage too is like with some of these folks who have like done it multiple times,
Sure.
done some,
Yeah.
done like an appropriative thing multiple times. It's like you should maybe like add somebody to your team or of people,
Right,
who,
right.
like knows. But then alternatively, there could be some like conniving going on. I don't think she would be the one to know to do this, but like, maybe her marketing person or whoever is like, this is actually good publicity. Because it like, now we know about that brand, and even if down the, it hurts it initially, like, the people who don't give a shit, like, are just like, oh, okay, I didn't even realize she was coming out with a lingerie or whatever, sorry, underwear brand.
It could be all publicity.
Yeah,
Her
so then
marriage
that
to
could be
Kanye,
good.
all
Right.
the kids with him.
So then they think,
It could be.
so then they think that, like, even though we do realize this is problematic, like, we're not gonna say anything because it's actually gonna be good publicity.
Yeah.
So if there's like a conscious thing behind it, I think people are smart enough to.
I mean, I know it. I've read 40 think pieces on it. I know the brand now a lot.
Yeah, I know, and like subconsciously,
exactly what it's selling.
Down the line, maybe it's like, oh, I gotta get new underwear. Oh, I'll just get that. If you're just, I don't have time to think about it.
That's right. Yeah.
Because I don't know if I can name other underwear brands.
I'm gonna wear my kimono underneath my kimono.
Multi-layer kimono. I could see that.
Yeah.
It could be a good way to, reclaim it.
Reclaim it. Yeah.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
That's great. But yeah, anyway, I mean, yeah, I think it's all, obviously, it becomes clearer the more that you think about stuff, but I think, yeah, from the level of, like, I remember there was a big outrage around when a few years back that was, like, the Halloween costumes, that's true. Halloween costumes, don't be wearing someone else as your costume.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Or someone else, like, who could, be around or just lives. And then there was, like, that Yale professor who sent an email out that was like, oh, well, like, I don't know. I mean, I think she had some good arguments about this should be something that we push among ourselves rather than, like, an administrator sending an email out being like, don't wear da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
So that was her main point. But then she did go on to talk about how, just, like, question cultural appropriation and where the line is drawn and stuff like that. And then that's where people got mad because it was like, well, we don't really want to hear about how you love your scarf that you bought.
And that's why.
Let's, like, chill.
Right. And it became about her.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
So that was always like, ooh. But also, I get the top-down mentality is maybe not the best way to make cultural shifts.
Sideways.
Sideways, yeah. Fair. But anyway, back to the dip, but also back to comedy. So we haven't really covered that. How did you?
Yeah.
I mean, we always get asked this question, so I don't want to ask the same old shit. But, like, what do you like about comedy today and now? Because I feel like you run this great show, Let's Go Atsuko. It's now a podcast. It's a live show. It's like you have really done something that I think a lot of comics find hard, which is, like, finding an area that, like, they are both good at, that, like, hasn't been done before, honestly, right? Because everybody, like, we see a lot of the same stuff a lot. And then also a way to, like, make it something that people can consume, like, watch and see, even if they're not, in the room or, like, translating the live show, I think, is, like, so hard. And it's, like, cool that you're able to do that because I think it is important in this digital age.
To make a podcast?
Yeah, or, like, to figure out how
to have a podcast.
How to make it a thing. Yeah, to have a podcast. Here we are.
No, yeah, it is hard. It's fun. It excites me the different ways I could reach people with things that make me happy. And then seeing, and what, like, titillating other people with the same kind of joys. With comedy, with my Japanese game show, my woke Japanese game show, it's really, it should maybe really be called not a Japanese game show, but it's in the style of one.
Yeah.
But I don't. The whole point is that it's not just people doing wacky things for no reason, right? And so it's like people doing kind of wacky things. The games are the games satirize current events, so it's a way of sort of speaking about current issues via like silliness, like literally what I like to do with comedy, like finding levity in things that are like heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah, and so maybe it's even more of a literal version of like what I like about comedy. And
Cool. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and that is what I love about comedy too, especially now, is that just truly like everyone's sort of personal experiences and quirks being translated into a bigger thing, like whether it's literally in their stand-up style or the way they go about a podcast, if it's like, oh, we're going to focus on more positive thinking,
Yeah.
or yeah, I like that. Or
Yeah, yeah.
or if I'm angry, I'm Mark Maron, or whatever.
I'm angry. Hi, I'm Mark Maron. Yeah, yeah, totally. Like amplifying those parts of your
Yeah.
personality, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Instead of trying to fit into this like more general, like this is more a classic stand-up. This is alt or whatever.
Yeah. And I think people are like tired of seeing that too. I mean, at least the specificity is working because there's so many people and there's so many like possible ways to get your stuff to those people, and like
Right.
If you can find your people, that's best.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people.
I forget there's a lot of people.
There's so many people. I mean, especially with like, I think maybe Twitter is what really, because the Twitter, it's easy to just see other people like retweet people you've never seen before. So maybe it's easier to see the sprawling nature of people. But yeah, I mean, there's a funny thing where like, maybe we're really like our brains are only really wired to know maybe about like 100 people, like a small town, village.
Yeah.
But then
Like in
now,
caveman days.
Yeah, caveman days. Back to the
All the people you
classic
can
days.
name.
Right. And like no faces.
No faces,
And then
yeah.
now we're like, oh wow, there's like a person all the way on the other side of the world who's like really good at this.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. But now I'm like, wow, I can't put my mind around it,
The population, the amount of people, it blows my mind a lot because I stay in my neighborhood a lot. You're very close to me.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
Are you near, yeah, we don't have to say geographically. But yeah, okay, good.
but geographically,
I stay in my
you're very
neighborhood.
close to me, and I stay in my neighborhood. Even Twitter, though, because like I kind of follow certain people, and there's topics that are geared towards me to read about, and so even the comments might be of my people, like of my bubble. It's when I look at like I got curious and I kind of went to Logan Paul's YouTube page, and he has like 16 million followers.
Yeah.
So I was like, there are 16 million people out there that I don't relate to. That you know what I mean? I am 16 million followers away from Logan Paul. Does that make sense?
No, I totally get
Like
what
that
you
many
mean.
people.
Because it's just a different sensibility, and then that many people love that sensibility.
Right. That many people that I could not have a conversation with. That's a big, I know that's a bold statement, but assuming.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a huge deal too, because there are like 8 billion people. So like minus 16 million, you still got like 8 billion people.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying for them to follow me. I'm just saying I have
Right.
those people I'm pretty sure I have nothing in common with.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
No, I think that's true, because it is a different. Have you watched his videos before?
I have. Yeah, and it all started with the controversy of him going to the suicide forest in Japan.
Oh, how could I forget?
So I did watch that. I hate watch that. And then I was like, what is he doing? And I watched his other videos, and then I was like, I'm angry. But maybe some of his followers are hate following him. I don't know. But it is still a lot of people, and there's like footage of him traveling and people like bombarding him because they're his fans.
I know. I have some friends who are fans, and I mean, it's mainly guys, mainly like white guys, I would say. But I know one was just like a friend of a friend, and he was watching it, and so I was like so curious why he watched it, and I think I asked him, he's like, I just like watching it every morning. Like, it's just a kind of a wake up thing he does before work, and then he like goes to work. But I mean, I didn't feel like he was fully, fanboy invested.
Sure.
I think he was just like, this is content that is reliable. I watch it in the morning. I know it's going to be exciting because lots of dabbing. Maybe they're traveling.
Throwing money in there. I think one was just like he got a lot of money and he just threw it in the air or something, which is fine.
Right. You don't get to see that every day unless you're following him. So.
I didn't mean it to go negative. Here's another example. I guess, you think of like box office movies, right? And then because they have like weeks run and then they're like, this made this much opening weekend. For me, like how many times do you go see a movie in the theater?
Yeah, not that often. I mean, I do, but I feel bad because I always just see like the big blockbusters.
I do too, but like I only watch it once in theaters. Like I'm not going to.
Right.
With movies, I really want to support. Maybe I'll watch it like twice or something. But like Aladdin, I just watched it. And I was like, I did it. I watched it. If I wanted to ever watch it again, I won't see it again for maybe years in the comforts of my home.
It might even come out on Netflix or something, so then you can or Disney Plus or whatever.
Right.
So then you can watch it if you're subscribed.
And so they're like, trillions of people showed up or it made this much money. I'm like, oh my God, all of them had to just go once to make those numbers happen. And anyhow, I don't know. I'm basic. I'm just like, wow, there's so many people. It's still the same point. I'm still trying to make the same point when you're already on the same page with me.
No. I mean, it's good to like, I see what you mean because those are shocking moments.
It blows my mind. Anytime I see a flash mob, it blows my mind. Synchronized. I'm like, wow, that many people live in Anchorage, Alaska. And they love Les Miserables too,
Yeah, that's fair. When did you, do you like Los Angeles and being in a city? Like, do you think that's something that you'd be like, oh, but I'd love to retire to a small town? Or are you like, I'm a city gal?
I like cities.
Suburbs?
Yeah, I think I've only been in cities.
Okay.
I've been here 20 years in LA.
Okay, yeah.
And then before that.
Mainly.
Yeah, I've never been in a small town. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, same. I don't know if I would ever. Oh, I know. Well, I did get to go to Wisconsin once, and it was like a friend's hometown. Mm-hmm. I think he only had I think it was only 30,000 people.
Okay.
That's small, right?
I think that's small. Are you a city person? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the suburbs of Los Angeles, essentially. So it was a town called La Cañada. But I think
you were La Cañada. You're LA too.
Yeah. So
okay.
It was, I don't know how many people, but good school. So it was like a lot of kids. I know it's like 25% kids, or at the time it was. I remember hearing that on the radio. I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah. So, but it still felt small because it was like a suburb or whatever. But it's not as small as some of these towns we drove through in Wisconsin, where it was like, oh, and then the town's over, and there were like 6 houses. But what's fun is they had like a very Friday Night Lights feel. I don't know. I've never really. I think I've seen the movie.
I've seen this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch the show. I know that's the good one. But just the idea that like the football field was across from like the school. I mean, obviously it is the school, but like all the people come to watch the high school football games, and then there's like the town graveyard is like right there, and then there's like the general store.
Yeah, within so like a radius.
Yeah, it's like you got everything you need, and you maybe probably know everybody.
Right.
And
Yeah. So this is you visiting.
This is just visiting. I mean, I like am projecting what I think his life was like, but like there's a sense of oh, that's my third grade teacher, and she also still lives there. So it's just like everybody's kind of within the same radius.
Yeah, I've been to small towns that, but I've never been like, oh, this is where I'm going to retire.
Okay, yeah.
Or even like some people dream of like retiring in Ojai. People do retire in Ojai or something.
Yeah, and it's not too far out, I guess.
Right, somewhere close by or be by nature. I have a lot of friends who want to do that, who are doing like Artist's Way and stuff.
Yeah. You looked like, no, that's not for you.
I don't know why. I've never been. I'm not a huge nature person. I know why.
Why?
I think that I've lived this long being in cities, and I probably tell me if I sound like a snob, but I don't really find thrill in creating hassle for myself.
Oh, okay. Just like the idea of
like camping and hiking for really, really long periods, or there's like a trail that takes days to walk. Is it the Oregon Trail? It's some old school trail with a name.
I mean, the Oregon Trail.
I know
like
people who did
name.
that. I don't think it's the Oregon Trail.
No. I mean, the Oregon Trail is like, I think what people would go when they're like traveling west in like a covered wagon.
No, I'm telling you, it
So
was like back in the daytimes.
Right, yeah,
people traveling in wagons.
Right. It's
It's
out of
open.
necessity.
It's open for people to hike and stuff, or like hiking Mount Everest. I know people who are into climbing and stuff who dream of doing that one day. I have no interest in that. I've never felt like, yeah, curious even. No.
Right. Well, talk about realizing how many people there are. It was like Mount Everest was crowded. Did you see that?
Yes.
It's like that many people want to
climb it. Yeah.
And what? Right? Like, and can?
They also found they've been finding so much trash up there from human beings going up there. And it's Sherpas that have to
do
all the work, risking their lives. A lot of them die, avalanches, blah, blah, anything.
Right.
Or just like
Mount
running out
Everest.
of oxygen. Your brain explodes out of your skull from the high altitude.
Jesus. Ew.
To pick up, there was like Smirnoff bottles and stuff. This is human beings.
Smirnoff bottles.
Human beings in nature, and so...
Right.
And it's a hassle. You're like literally trying not to die doing this task,
Yeah,
to take a picture maybe. Also to feel other things, of course. There's a thrill, but I've never been much of a thrill seeker like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think I am either. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to think that many people are
right.
Like out of the population. It's like, oh, you'd think maybe one would be the one who's like, yeah, I for some reason I was born this way. I like want to climb mountains, but like,
and that's cool.
That's a lot of people.
I lived in a garage for 7 years and I was undocumented. Like, I don't really want to camp. Go camping.
Right. I mean, I remember
poop in a hole.
Right. That is like it's sort
cook
of
canned beans. Yeah.
Fabricated issues or like hardship.
Yeah.
Hardship. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's totally a thing. I know, like I've heard people have jokes about like we're indoors now. Like, have you heard? We're indoors now.
Yeah.
I think that was like a Neil Brennan joke or something from a long time ago. I thought that was funny. The other thing too is, did you ever see like that Free Solo documentary where the guy climbs the mountain?
No, I didn't see this documentary.
Actually, it won the Oscar. I was gonna say it won the Boscar. Anyway,
okay, yeah.
Had a lot of buzz, won the Oscar, but like the guy his whole mission was like, I want to climb the El Capitan like Yosemite rock thing without any ropes, and it's just like you're just like, I mean, and he spoilers, he did it, but he's still alive, so we would know. And like that is amazing. People loved the human feat.
Right.
Of that, but also it's like you could also not, and nobody would make any judgment.
It's that human feat. It's that making a record.
So I guess it's something he wanted to do since he was a little boy. I'm confused. Anyway.
I mean, it is of course. I'm gonna go home and watch it, star it, and like
hands in your gate also.
And like cry while I'm watching it.
Right.
It's but. Yeah, I would never put myself in that position. I've never felt like I needed to prove myself like that.
Fair.
I think. And there's more. Or prove to yourself that you could do it. It's a lot of Guinness World Record type things, right? I mean, Japanese people, a lot of Japanese, like competitive eating and stuff. There's a lot of that. Like,
sure.
Right? Like, he ate 80 hot dogs, yeah. Yeah. And then he went to the hospital. But he's going to do it again next year, and then that's what you become known for. Now you can't quit. I mean, what's this guy going to have to do next? He already did that without ropes. I mean, he's just going to, with his arms tied behind his hands, his back, you know what I mean? Like, you have
where
to
does it
up
end?
it.
The goalpost keeps moving.
If you want to stay relevant.
Yeah, he can't just retire. Yeah, just his feet next
Stand-up's different. We just have to, like, once in a while, come up with new jokes. Oh, we have new set.
Yeah, or not. Like me, I just do the same old stuff all the
Yeah, right. You're crazy.
But what about, in some ways, though, I think comedy, like, has the same sort of mentality of, well, maybe not, but just, like, the idea that it's, like, our goalpost is going to be moving a lot. Like, maybe the goal is to... get the podcast going, and then now it's like, oh wait, now I want to have a good like a ranking, a ranking one, or like, Do you find that do you have sort of a end-all be-all mentality in mind, like, or a goal that you have, or are you sort of more of a, the target's moving, or, I don't know how people
I have goals, but it always moves, for sure. I think it's nice to, for me, it works to, like, be okay with how, like, where life takes me.
Cool.
As long as I'm having fun, right? As long as it excites me, this new goal. And it's never, like, different. I'm never like, I want to be a doctor now. It's still within comedy, but it's okay to be like, oh, my latest goal is going to be this. And then you might get excited by something a little different and then go with that, Things to also keep it, like, reachable, these goals. And also, so you're not, and don't be hard on yourself, like, your goal. Yeah. If it's like a specific one, like, I don't know, I'm going to perform at the Madison Square Gardens in 2 years or something, you can be okay with the fact that, no, maybe actually it's a podcast first, that
I'm going to perform this podcast in Madison Square.
If I want to record, in the bathroom.
Just sneak in away from it.
Right.
I see. Yeah, no, that's.
Can you not?
That's
Oh,
fair.
you probably can't bring equipment in there.
Oh, I mean,
It'll be.
I'm sure they're like doing a backpack policy or something.
Yeah.
See-through, all the concerts need see-through bags now.
Oh,
That's, like,
got
a
it.
big thing,
Yeah.
because they're like.
That makes sense
then we can
for
see exactly
safety.
what you got.
Yeah.
And then nobody's. I don't know.
It
Does
would
that
be
make sense?
funny to be, like, taken away by security because they found podcast equipment. It's a danger to the people. Get your shit out of here. No, yeah, for sure.
I like that. Yeah, that's very true, because it is important, I think, to, be realistic, but also forgive if it doesn't happen, but have at least some sort of constructive idea of where you're headed,
How do you work, like, with, like...
Still figuring it out. I don't know, because I think I did the thing where I was like, oh, I should put goals and, like, write them out, because I've heard that works really well. But then, then I didn't reach, like, all of them. And so then I was, like, kind of bummed about that. But I think, maybe it was, like, the realistic nature of it. Maybe I was being like, well, maybe if I shoot high, then I'll, like, land in between. And so then maybe that's what I did, But then I think there's some discouragement of, oh, okay, well, then I didn't even reach this, so why should I even have them in front of my face to make me feel bad, So I kind of abandoned that at some point, but I should probably at least,
It is good to write
more constructive
out things. It's good to write out specific things. I was just saying, for me, like, it helps to be like, oh, but this other thing also is exciting too, and it's okay to invest time in that.
Right, like if you come across something else that you didn't know about when you first wrote out the other ones.
Have you done Artist's Way? I've never done it, but...
Oh, God. No, I haven't either. I have the book, I've talked about it with people.
You have, okay.
And they've, like, stood by it.
Uh-huh.
But I think I just, I guess, is it a thing where you, like, read it and you continue, you, like, go along as you read it, or are you supposed to read the whole thing and then start? I guess you go along and read it as
I think you could do it a couple ways. I think you read it and then also do, like, the morning pages, but it lasts, like, was it like 4 months each time? This is someone who's never done it. I don't even own the book, so you might know better. But this is from people that I've spoken with.
Which there's enough people to fill in all the gaps, I think.
Yeah. And, well, because one of the exercises is, like, writing down what you want and then it coming to you.
Oh, okay.
That kind of, like, almost like manifest destiny type thing, where it's like, write your goal and you'll get it. Yeah.
Like, knows what you're thinking.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting.
Which, I appreciate, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there with hiking or pooping in a hole for camping. You know what I mean? I'm not there with, like...
no need then. I think
there's been too much heartbreak for me to be, like, write down.
Oh, I see what you mean. That too, yeah. Like, it can be a thing where you're like, this just doesn't work for me,
Not to equate it to, like... I mean, yeah, to equate it to religion a little bit, because I was like super Christian in the past, and I remember like going to Jesus camp, and this moment of like, it's just the positive energy of like groupthink, and everyone surrounding me saying they would pray for my mom. My mom has schizophrenia, and it was really bad at that time. She was spiraling out of control. She was falling, hitting her head, going to the hospital. I remember asking everyone to pray for her, and the prayer, because it was like so many people surrounding me, everyone with the same energy, kind of like a flash mob, that kind of
Sure, yeah. Again, bringing it back to the synchronized
uniformity, synchronized everyone saying amen, amen. I really believed that I was going to go home to her being healed.
Right.
And I think that kind of thought could be really detrimental.
Totally.
Yeah,
because if you're impressionable and you're like,
right,
okay, getting your hopes up more than they need to be, it can be more of a heartbreak, I guess.
And if something good does happen and you help to make it happen, like you took precaution, I don't know, you're hugging her more. There's a lot of things for schizophrenic people that you could do for therapy, physical touch, music, and, CBD oil, even things like that.
Like everybody swears by it. Like does everything. It's magic.
CBD,
right?
Yes. No, I mean
it does so many things. I don't know. Maybe it's just.
I don't take CBD. CBD oil is very expensive.
Yeah, right. Like I just hear it advertised a lot, and I was trying to. I've never also tried it, but like for chronic pain, I think like my sister has some chronic pain, neck, and I was like, yeah, maybe try that because everybody swears by it. I don't know. She hasn't tried it yet, but. I'll let you know what happens.
So she has the bottle. She hasn't opened it and put it on her.
I think she doesn't even have the bottle.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
I want her to get the bottle.
I'll tell you, it made my mom feel a lot better.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She has to take a higher dosage to even get rid of hallucinations, which is like magic.
Okay.
And I'm not, it doesn't work for everybody, but what I'm saying is, after doing all that as family, right? Like physical touch, getting the right exercises, CBD, like I would hate for her to be like, I have no more hallucinations anymore. And for someone to be like, hallelujah, praise God. I would hate for that to happen because then it's like this thing where, like kind of, like I was saying, it's detrimental to be like, to give it to this greater being, right? This other being. And I don't know. Maybe or to a cause or like a cult or something, cultish thinking. And even when something good happens, like give yourself credit for working to make that happen. Right. It wasn't the secret or, you know what I mean? Like
I wrote it down, so then,
yeah, you also you did it too.
Did the research and yeah, that's a good point because I think then it can kind of like shift the responsibility and then it can feel as if you have to owe something to something
a little bit or you just get used to or then it's you stop taking responsibility for things whether good or bad, and I think it's good to be present in this life, and I don't know, this is am I doing this podcast right?
You're doing it so right. Yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, of course. This is all really like that's very important to spell out because I think with all the sort of things going on that seem maybe popular more in like LA because people are interested in entertainment. So there's sort of this lack of control that we all feel,
Right.
And so then everybody surrenders to like, not judging, but it's like, crystals are really popular here. And I don't think it's a coincidence that entertainment's also a thing here. It's just like this lack of control that everybody feels. And then you kind of are like, well, then maybe this will give me control, and you're kind of like reaching around in the dark. Totally. And then if it does coincide with you booking that role or like getting that job or whatever, then it can turn into like, okay, so then it is this, and it's not your own hard work, So I mean, obviously that's a very vapid version of what you went through and what you're going through, but it's like, I think there is total validity to like, some of these things that we cling to. It's not. It can be good if it works for you, but like you have to still be present, as you said.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Now astrology I fucks with, but
nice. Yeah, I mean
more as of recent actually.
Wait, what?
More as of recent, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I just can't stop reading about it.
Where do you, is it like so I'm very new to it, and I know I'm a Leo, and that's where my story ends, but I think, like, is it like you're reading horoscopes, or is it like more just lore? I don't even know.
It's more just like horoscopes, honestly.
Okay, yeah.
Just like typing horoscopes.com. Shout out.
Big plug there. Horoscopes.com. Good, honestly, great domain name they claimed.
They got it.
Yeah, they got the one.
Before maybe it got too like popular, and now people have to do.
Sign? Do you know like the rising and the falling?
I don't know all of that yet. I mean, it's dicey. I've asked because you have to like know what time you were born and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's
you know, and there is a privilege to astrology if you get to know your rising, and not everyone knows what time they were born because I have a friend who's adopted, for example. So he doesn't actually know what his actual birthday is even, or time, blah, 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 blah. He's like, I'll never know my actual moon and rising. But, I don't know that. I think I'm like a Libra rising. I don't know. Yeah. If that means, if that has any significance to you.
I don't know anything.
I'm a Gemini. Cool. You're a Leo, that's the lion.
Yes. Gemini is the twin.
Right. Yeah. The lion's supposed to be, I think, like loyal, fiery. It's a fire sign.
Yeah, I think that all checks out. I don't know, honestly, but I believe anything you say, so.
Passionate.
So passionate. But then that's the funny thing. It's like, then everybody fits into these categories. Well, it's like when people would do, what they call, I guess, like Chinese zodiac, right? It's like, then everyone in your grade, like we would do it in elementary school.
I know,
that's
like,
so we're all the same.
I know. That's why then, this is what I almost gave up. Someone was like, well, there's a astrology that mixes zodiac and astrology.
Yeah. I've totally.
You've done that?
I've talked to somebody about it.
You have, and what's your animal?
And they were like, it was like really. Well, I think I did it on the podcast because they were really into it, and so then it was Dan, aka Dan, Dan Matthews.
Oh yeah.
He brought it out, and he was.
It's like the primal signs, right?
Okay, yeah, maybe I don't remember what the title was. Probably.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, well, you're a dog and you're a lion or Leo or whatever. Yeah. And so then it was like the mix was like a Shih Tzu, and then it was like really awful. It was like, oh, you like attention and you like I don't know. It was like really sad. I was like, oh God, I guess I'm a horrible person.
That one is a little more new. Primal astrology is new. I was like, what? Because you go to the website, I feel like they only have like one or two primal astrology websites because it is a newer thing that someone made up. But it looks like a GeoCities website. It's just like this. The letters move like this back and forth a little bit.
Love it.
And anyhow, I'm a hummingbird. I looked it up too.
Ooh, I like that.
I don't know.
I just like hummingbirds, I guess.
I do too. I just got a hummingbird feeder for my birthday like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And then I found out I was a hummingbird. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe the universe is speaking to me.
No, that's awesome. Do you make the like syrup thing? And
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that's how it worked. So Ryan, my husband, got it for me. I didn't ask for one. I
didn't ask for this.
I didn't even know I liked hummingbirds.
Yeah, but
I didn't even think too much about them, Now they're at our house all the time.
Yeah, they like love it and they battle for it.
Yeah, they do. Awesome. They do. So you do have one, or you used to have one?
My parents have had one for a while, and they really then they got like two, and they're really like my dad will like brew the thing, like he's just very into the yard and like doing lots of, and my mom, they're like very active people, so I think he was brewing the thing, and then we'll watch like the hummingbirds kind of like zip back and forth and battle each other. There's like definitely the more dominant one who's like butting them out because he wants all the sugar.
Yeah. It's like it's
intense.
But there's spots for everyone.
Yeah.
I think there might be a flaw in the make of it because there's like 5 holes for 5 hummingbirds or something, and only like one get to drink at a time.
I wonder if it is like a territorial thing too. Like, would they just, even if there are multiple holes, they're like on a scarcity mentality. So it's like, even if there are 5, I can be the only one because the sugar water might not always be here. Because
I don't know, because these people, they don't even look at us. They don't even think, because we sit there and watch them. Mm-hmm. They're maybe like 3 feet away from us. They don't even look at us. Like, how did this water get here?
my God.
Oh, these wonderful people
Ungrateful.
that bought this from Amazon.com, boiled hot water with sugar, fill it every 2 days because
Yeah.
they drink it really fast.
Jesus, every 2 days you have to refill that?
2 or 3 days,
That's
very
crazy.
very fast. I don't know if it's where we live too,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of hummingbirds, a lot.
Down. Yeah, wow.
And then
Commitment.
honestly, I'm kind of getting over the thrill because I don't get to touch them or anything.
Yeah, I see.
Is that terrible?
No,
I know
that's
this is
not.
supposed to be a positive podcast, but I'm
No,
also
this
very
is
honest.
all very pleasant stuff. I mean, anything with hummingbirds, I think, still counts as pleasant. Even if
I'm
they're
just
not.
being honest. It's hard for me when it's a one-sided relationship with so many of the same bird that don't even know who I am. Don't care.
Right. I mean, I like animals that I can interact with, which is why I think I'm more of a dog person than a cat
Same.
person.
And you're a Shih Tzu.
Yeah, which is unfortunately not a good one to be. Look it up. Yeah. But wait, so that also brings me to Ryan, your husband, who's obviously like a big part of your life. But I mean also just like it's fun seeing. Occasionally I'll see him and he comes and watches your show and he's part of your act, or like you incorporate him in certain stories that you tell, and I think it's so fun and funny and like just seems like a really great marriage goals to be hashtag and stuff, but just like a really awesome relationship. And I don't know, how did you swing that? No, but like how do you cultivate something so meaningful?
Yeah,
because I think it's a really unique thing.
I think a big part. Well, it's always like, maybe it's kind of like how I did the goals for my comedy career. It's a way of living that I really value, which is like not obsessing over a specific goal. Specific goal, like we're soulmates. We've been from the beginning. Only one person. This person. We were there at the right place at the right time. Destiny. Not thinking like that.
Damn it.
Which adds pressure.
Right.
That's made up, because we're two different beings, and also having fun at every moment. Like, you got to be having fun. Like, both of you have to be having fun. And I think
both
a lot of
us, yeah.
I think a lot of that, right?
That's true.
Not at every moment in your lives together, but I'm just saying, like, it shouldn't feel like a burden. And that's really been, so we have a lot of fun with each other.
Yeah, I feel like I can tell. No, I'm not in the relationship, but like, from Instagram, it's just like, oh my God, like, there they are again. And it's just, it's all like, looks legitimately not performative. Like, it's very much like, this is their lives,
Yeah. And
again, I'm totally not in this, like, no investment. But no, yeah, I feel like it's, it shines through,
Yeah, I think it's good to not, like, trip out over, what if this person leaves me? Because that kind of stuff does lead to a lot of arguments. It's like the pressures of, like, that everyone else kind of tells you that you should be scared of, which is like, oh, you must get married. We got married, but it's something we didn't want to be married, or we weren't dreaming of it every day.
Okay, yeah.
When we met
Pinterest
each other.
boards were
Yeah,
made or
literally,
hurt
it was like, should we get married? Yeah, we're hopeless romantics. Why not? It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be like a party, Let's just have a party.
Because that's what it is. It's just like a celebration of something that's already there. And then, maybe, sure, make it official. But, like, as long as that's not, like, the, the main purpose of being there is for the ceremony,
It's too much.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why a lot of people get in fights right before weddings, on Valentine's Day, on anniversaries, because there's too much, like, pressure from the outside that says, like, did you get her a gift? You know what I mean?
Right, and then, like, did you get mad at him for not? Or, like, stuff like that.
Yeah, and then things
like,
that you resent about the person that you might have been building up comes more on that day because it's supposed to be a gift and a day of love, but you're like, oh, I secretly want to kill this person. You know what I mean? I don't know. Some people feel that way. Yeah. And so I think it's just, like, going with the flow and having fun. I know that's. I mean, you didn't ask for advice. I think you were just trying to.
No, I am asking for advice. Yes.
Talk to me about Ryan.
No, for sure. I think that's true because I think a lot of issues that I've ever felt either internally about my relationship or about relationships in general, it is all like expectations that have been put on what a relationship should be, right? So it's like whether from rom-coms or like things that are fake or like things that, you know, are sold to you because it's like, well, Valentine's Day we got to sell all these roses, so let's make sure that all the women think they should get the roses, you know. That's like what it is, and it feels very like external. I've been watching a lot of The Bachelorette. And it's like so funny. It's obviously like trash television, but it's well done. It's so well done as far as, you know, scripted stuff can go. And it's like, oh my God, it's like basically the way that this season has been going so far is there's like a dude who is, you know, there's always a villain, but I think it's a very interesting kind of villain because she really likes him.
Oh,
He has a lot of like scary flags, red flags that I think are kind of this, you know, that people can find attractive in a partner, somebody who gets really like passionate, but also like kind of enraged and jealous all the time. And like that's like not cool, you know?
Yeah.
And he feels very territorial and protective of her.
But he's on a show with other men trying to get her, right? Okay.
Of course, right?
Yeah,
so it's like, of course this is gonna flare out. But the interesting thing is like, you know, there's not as many, I think there's not a total pressure on her to like get rid of him right away because that's sort of like promoted in media. Like, you know, it's like, oh, the guy who can go to bat for you.
Right.
But it's like, we're not living in the Stone Age. We don't have to battle each other for like a woman's love anymore. Like we're like regular human beings who can hopefully communicate clearly. So like, it's crazy to think that that's still such a strong part of like mainstream thought on relationship is like, the woman is to be won, and the man, he better get mad at any sign of any other person or her looking any other direction. It's like psycho. So yeah, it's just you know, I think there's definitely some awareness of it on the show, but like it's just odd to see.
Yeah,
because I get it too. I'm like, yeah, there is a certain attraction to somebody who is like, you're my
would kill
one
someone
and only.
for you.
Yeah,
that's true. Like is getting to our primal instincts or something. You know, so like literally fabricating a show where you do have to battle other people pretty much by being the last person standing. Yeah, totally.
Last person standing. Yeah, I mean, and that's the total opposite of what you have figured out, which is like you do kind of have to go with the flow and like, you know, not force these things because then if you're forcing it, it's probably not right anyway, right? You know, like.
Yeah. In the past, when relationships haven't worked, it's kind of been the same. I mean, of course, there's people who are toxic that you shouldn't be with, you know, and like, I've been in relationships like that too. But the reason I stayed was also because of like other expectations that were from like society, like, oh, but you'll be alone, you know, but he's nice sometimes. He bought you the chocolates, you know, things like that.
The chocolates, so you have to be with this guy for at least another 32 to 64 days. That's the contract.
Well, if you're like, oh shoot, we went out for Valentine's Day dinner, we can't break up for another at least few days, you know.
Interesting. Bound by law.
Yeah. Oh.
But but it's awesome that, you know, you have, I mean, I do feel like people are realizing that the definition of relationship is like changing. And so, you know, you do have to like you should be having fun all the time. Like, I think that's something that people maybe before were like, well, marriage is about, you know, gender roles and
populating the earth.
Upset. Yeah. Like the husband goes to work and like he's just wants. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird. Like I remember maybe like old school comedy. It's like when men go up there and like complain about their wives. It's like, oh well, then maybe you're unhappy. Like maybe this isn't right then.
Yeah.
Like. I don't know if that's like the way a partnership should be.
Totally. And they both could turn to camera and be like, you're right. We got married because we were both 19 and he was going to go off to war or something. You know, I can't get an education because I'm a woman. Right. So I had to marry somebody who would take care of me.
Exactly.
And we're having kids because people are dying in the war, and so we have to populate the place again.
More workplace.
But we no
workforce.
longer live in constrictions like that.
We don't. I know. Isn't it crazy? What a wonderful time to be alive.
Right, where your goal doesn't have to be just to be a mom, or just to like, if that's your goal, that's fine too. But where it doesn't, you don't have to have kids.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No need. I know, like, it's definitely interesting thinking about my grandma, I think. Well, because I think about how, like, she, is very smart, but, there's, like, a limited amount of things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And she was born and raised in California, so, like, still could work. But, like, definitely a lot of things are like, well, you're home, and then the 4 kids. It's a lot. Maybe not at the time, but just there would be a lot now, right? And she would apparently, like, write a grocery list for, like, my grandpa, her husband, to go get groceries, but would, like, write the aisle number for each thing, like, knowing by memory when, and, like, that's a little a lot, but also it feels like it's, like, brain power going towards domestic things.
Mm-hmm.
And, we don't necessarily do that anymore, but it's like,
right.
I mean, I could see that a lot of brain power just was allocated to different things, and now, like,
right.
we have more options, and I don't know.
And your grandpa's brain power was allocated to way other things because he couldn't even just,
I don't know, he couldn't, piece it together what things are in what categories in the aisles.
But that's very sweet that she was, like, in case, to make it more efficient for him, right?
Yeah, right. And I mean, and to some degree, I think that it's not as crazy for my own parents, but there's certainly some things where I think, definitely way more domestic things gender roles are in place. So
right.
It's like,
were your grandparents interned?
Yes. So my dad's parents were, yes.
Your
that
dad's
was my
parents.
mom's parents. So I'm Chinese is my mom's side, and then my dad's side is Japanese. So they were, yeah.
Okay.
But again, I never met my maternal grandmother, who was interned because she passed away before I was born.
Oh,
but
okay.
then my grandpa, I met him a lot. Met him several times. Yeah, no, we hung out. But he was old, so he passed away like how many years ago? I don't know. But yeah, so I don't think I ever talked to them.
So you have the Chinese grandparents.
Well, now just my grandmother. But yeah, my grandmother's still alive on my mom's side.
The one that wrote down the
one
aisles.
So brain power is still chugging along clearly.
Wow.
She's 96.
Wow. Do you have older siblings? You have older siblings?
I do. I have an older sister. Do you?
Half siblings. Half siblings. Is she
cool.
way older? I mean,
my
it doesn't
sister,
matter.
5.5 years older. So kind of like a decent gap.
Yeah.
So I think growing up, we were definitely like, she's the big sister.
Sure.
She could be listening. Hello, Melissa. She lives in Long Beach and has a husband and a house, and she's a lawyer. And he's a lawyer.
Great.
Yeah. Very cool.
I think I did know that, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you should meet her sometime. If you're ever in Long Beach.
I need to.
You guys can hang
I just
out.
want to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Of course. I'm there once every few years.
Good.
So,
Make the trek.
it feels like,
Fair. But yeah, so, it's always interesting as we are alive today, how things are different.
Things are different.
I like to think about that.
Some people like to hold on to traditional values, and that is a thing too.
Sure.
I've never felt because you know how they say, like, once you hit a certain age as a woman, you feel the need for, like, you get the desire for a baby.
Oh,
like
hormonal or whatever.
Yeah, they're like, you can't fight it. It hasn't hit me. It's never hit me.
Yeah. I mean, then I don't think it can't be hitting everybody.
Maybe it's not the biological thing. Maybe you just want a kid, the person.
Yeah. Maybe it's
and that's okay too.
Yeah, maybe it's actual, just like that's what you want.
Right.
I have heard people say that too. I don't feel like I also don't feel like that's happened to me, but like I really like puppies. I like looking at babies. They're cute.
Babies,
And puppies are cute. So, but I don't feel like I don't think I've felt like that comfortable like carrying a baby yet, you know? Like I know that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But I get really like, oh my God, I'm so weak and babies are dense. And it's like, I don't want to drop this baby. So
yeah.
I will hold a baby if I'm like sitting down.
Right.
And a lot of my older cousins and family friends have had babies and love to hang. I love to hang.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Asian babies, yeah, top of the pile.
Top meat. Grade A meat.
But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any babies in your life, like peripherally?
Oh, kind of. I think
babes?
so. Peripheral. I have for me. I have such a small family that we don't have any fresh babies on our side.
That's fine. You can find them.
On Ryan's side, there's like toddlers.
Okay, yeah. So
But I haven't really hung out with them too because they live far away. I don't get to hold babies that much.
I mean, I never did my whole life until recently. So
yeah.
I mean,
and it is a lot of pressure. It's a whole person. If you ruin that moment, let's say it goes really bad, that baby still has to grow up to go live in the world, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like later on in the 20s, 30s. I don't know if like, I mean, a dent in the head could really affect. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah. If something bad happens, that's
right.
a human's head. I mean, they get some, the little babies, they got the soft skulls. They don't have like the fully formed skull yet. And that's a vulnerable area. So I don't like to mess with it.
I just read an article about a newborn baby that got the christening for like Catholic Church.
Okay, yeah.
I think they get baptized and stuff, right? But, it's a moment for the baby, and, like, there were a lot of adults there to celebrate it. But because it was the baby's day, it got passed around a lot. Mm-hmm. And then, like a few days later, the mom started noticing that the baby started having, a lot of liquid in one of the eye, and then it blistered, and then suddenly it was swollen, blistery, and the baby couldn't even open it anymore. And when she went to go check with the doctor, it was herpes. Cold sore. Someone had a cold sore on their mouth.
Oh my God!
So the baby kept getting kissed and stuff because it was being passed around, right? Kissed in the face, kissed in the eye. Adults kiss babies.
It's true.
Yeah, and babies. It's such a newborn. The immunity's really low. Very susceptible to anything that's new, like cold sore. So the cold sore started. He had a cold sore on his eye growing, so he had to be on antivirus.
Eyelid, so not like the eyeball, right?
No, eyelid.
Okay, good.
But big enough and flared up enough that it was like closed off, and he had to be on
Oh no.
So I guess what I'm saying is, like holding a baby, being around a baby is a lot of pressure.
I know.
The baby almost died because the immunity was
How young was this baby?
Like a few weeks old.
Okay, so that's too young. Yeah, that's the thing. I think most people are like, we're
not bringing it to the world.
Yeah, it's gonna be in here at least a month, and then you guys can eat it. So, oops.
I'm sorry I told that story.
No, that's it's good because it's a warning to all those babies out there. You better
we're a lot stronger than them.
Yeah,
so
you
like
never
touching
know
their
what
face,
bring,
even
even just a common cold, right? It could be not good.
Exactly.
Especially a fresh baby like that, too fresh.
It was the baby was too fresh, and I don't. Yeah.
I think that's like there is some sort of, and I'm sure this is. I don't know. Like my family's so removed from like anything that's actual. I don't know, but I think it's real. Anyway, so some of these things in my family where we're like, oh, I think this is like a Chinese thing. It's like we find out later, oh, actually, you guys that's like your family. Because it's like we blame it on that because we're like, well, we're Chinese, so probably, but it's like fourth generation, so now it's like, no, you guys made that up somewhere along the way. So anyway, I don't know, but this I'm pretty sure is that like I think there's for a lot of cultures it's like month is some sort of like bad luck if you leave the house or whatever if with the baby because it's like keep the baby inside, but that's actually like a health precaution. And then, that's why there's like the red egg party or whatever, because that's when everybody gets to meet the baby. But that also coincides with like a 1 month old age. So that's good, because then it's like, okay, now a little bit stronger. Still don't be bringing your cold sores up in here, but like.
Strong baby.
A little bit more developed, hopefully has some shields up. And
a little thicker skin around the eyelids.
And like, I don't think anybody's kissing that baby at that moment, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm scared of cold sores now. I think, obviously sometimes it's inevitable.
Yeah.
But, and you gotta accept that, but like.
But on the eye is intense. Well, because now the baby has.
Right, it'll flare up every so often. Right?
So, on the eye.
On the eye, so it's always this spot.
The mom was saying that that it flared up again. What is it called? I guess a recurrence. Yeah. There had been another one, but they now know what it is, so there's antiviral medicine. They keep around the house. But it's crazy. It's just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, like, as a 20-year-old person, that person might, they have to just have pills on them instead of, and they're on their first day, and they're like, I'm sorry, I have herpes. I have eye herpes.
So no
from when
kisses.
I was a baby. I promise. I promise it was somebody else.
I didn't have a weird eye situation. Yikes. Yeah, okay. So that's good to know. I think, it's not the... I think it's always good to be in the know, even if you have to picture some eye herpes.
And the baby's alive and, well, really cute.
Oh, good.
Otherwise.
Yeah, when it's a good week.
Really cute when not flared up. I mean, when flared up, really cute too.
Sure,
but
adds a little pizzazz.
Yeah, he looks edgy, and
this baby has seen some shit. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I was gonna say a baby cried. I was at the grocery store the other day. There was a baby in a stroller, and I looked at the baby, and the baby saw me and just started crying. Has that ever happened to you? Where a baby cried at the side of your face?
Oh, I don't think I've encountered enough new babies.
Okay. I only encounter new babies pretty much. Right. This one, but they've never just looked at me and then just cried, just terrified.
Was the baby racist?
The baby's only as racist as his parents, right?
Sure, so the parents.
Just like babies are only as social as their parents.
Interesting.
Because the mom is... The parents are who decides who the baby meets.
So
why hasn't the baby seen me one of me before?
Exactly. I don't know. Sounds like the parents need to diversify their portfolio.
Yeah, or at least where they hang out. But it was like Trader Joe's, so it's like should be.
It could have been.
There's people like me there.
I'm sure it's definitely unrelated to you and your face.
But it really makes you think.
I know.
I did look in the mirror like right after that. Because I was like, well, maybe I have something. I was like,
yeah, maybe you got eye herpes.
My bad hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I looked. I was cute.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's
so
the baby's personal problems. I think that baby has to work out some stuff in baby therapy.
Yeah, like later on.
Tots for talking.
He has flashbacks to like when he saw this one person at Trader Joe's. Who knows? I don't know.
No, I'm sure it's fine. I think it was a fluke baby.
A fluke baby?
Mm-hmm.
We can do with that.
This. You gotta give yourself credit.
It hurt my feelings. It's like if a dog doesn't like you.
Yeah, especially if they like others and you see it interact and then they come to you and they're like, ew. And then I don't like that.
Because I saw the baby being fine around other people at the Trader Joe's, even like kind of smiling at other people. It was just for me that it was like, and then the mom looked at me, a couple other people looked at me,
what did you do?
Yeah, but I was like, does that make sense?
No, of course. I mean, you can't help it.
I was super othered. You know what I mean?
Oh no, that's terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry. Fuck that baby.
Who are they gonna believe? The baby. Right. They're gonna believe the baby.
People always believe the baby.
They're gonna say, "What did you do to me?" Not the baby.
Yeah, and you have to be like, guys, I swear. And then you back away and you have to leave your groceries in the car.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's rough.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's okay. I hope that you never come in contact with that baby again. Flash forward 20 years later. You make eye contact across the room. You're like, something about that 20-year-old kid.
I know him. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dear. It can happen. I could see that in the epilogue, the after credits scene.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Once, I don't know. I don't want to say victim. The baby played a victim.
Yeah, it was very, a little bit.
I think
Babies
so.
can do that, though. They can pull it off.
If you cry, because you're going to get attention. And the mom's going to tend to you if you do cry.
Yeah, I worry about that sometimes with babies who are too cute. It's like they're going to get the attention no matter what. So are they going to develop their personalities?
Yeah.
It's always a question. And, it's neither here
That's
nor
why
there.
awkward faces are so important.
They are. It builds character.
Building blocks.
And I think almost everybody goes through that.
Yeah, there are just some people who are just hot their whole lives.
Hot. I mean, a lot of them unfortunately find fame, and then that's where the building of character comes into play. How do you go through
that's the
child
hardship.
stardom, and then realizing, like, even though I was blessed with a beautiful face and stardom, I also had a drug problem or something. Something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's tough.
I too found crystals, but differently than you.
A different kind of crystal. Yeah.
or
both.
like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
I too
That's
found
all-
astrology, just via different path.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We all have our paths. I guess, I mean, and that leads me to, the closing of the podcast, unless there's more specific things. But I do want to always ask, like, what is your go-to happy remedy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's sort of your quick fix?
My go-to happy remedy is dance hall music, a lot of dance videos, obsessed.
Do you watch, like, the ones where they have, like, the moving camera and it, like, goes around the studio? Like the...
Yeah, at the Millennium.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
I don't know if that's, like,
I love
considered
it.
too... Okay. Because I'm an outsider, so to me, I'm like, oh, that's the coolest one, right? And then real dancers would be like, oh, you're so basic.
No, it is cool. I love seeing, the choreography. Also, just like, also Animal Smalls is a great Instagram
Oh, okay. Not heard of that.
page. Animal Smalls, not spelled correctly. It's spelled like the animals would spell it. So it's like ANIM, animum, and then like smalls, like SMOLS.
Oh, smalls.
Yeah, like how animal would open up an account.
Wow, yeah.
So it's a lot of small animals.
Oh, animal small. Oh, I
doing
see.
things.
I thought this was another dancer. I'm like, oh.
Oh no, sorry. This is
Okay, this is
dogs.
separate.
I mean dogs, cats,
Animal smalls.
hedgehogs, things like that, real ones. And then there's another one called Round Boys, where it's also animals, but round animals.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where
That's
I go. Yeah.
I follow a lot of dogs. English bulldogs in particular are some of my favorites.
They're
but
beautiful.
There's one in Thailand, because I guess a lot of Thailand bulldog, English bulldog Instagram accounts weird. Anyway, I mean, maybe not weird. I don't know. But Instagram, great peek into like lots of people out there. House of Bulldogs. It's like 4 of them. They all live in a house.
Oh.
And then One Ton, the bulldog, spelled like wonton soup, So cute. And
wow.
has his own like clothing line for bulldogs and dogs in general. But
What?
it's a very cute face dog. I don't know how to.
House of Bulldogs?
House of Bulldogs, I think _, where spaces would be. But
Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to look that up.
But yeah, I mean, definitely don't follow Animal Smalls.
S'mores.
Round boys, s'mores. So cute. I do agree that is a good quick fix, It's just like, how can you watch a 30-second video of
Yeah.
the little smalls and not love life? But anyway,
Exactly.
yeah. And then, anything you want to plug? I don't know if it'll be out until maybe like a few weeks, but, general plugging.
I have a weekly podcast that comes out every Friday. Let's Go Atsuko, a woke Japanese game show. So you can get that wherever you get your podcasts, produced by Forever Dog. And and it's also a live show, but it's every other month. So I'll announce it on the podcast.
Cool. Yeah. And then you could follow Atsuko and also see it there.
Yeah. I'm at Atsuko Comedy.
Nice. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
out.
Thank you for
and
having
hanging
me.
out. All right. Yay. Bye.